Y'all, it's that hour of the day. Do y'all like about the 2 o'clock hour start getting tired, or is it just me? Phew. Y'all know what goes on during the day when I'm not doing videos. Not that I do videos during the day. I have to do videos at night because during the day I'm doing this. I'm driving myself insane. Some of these. Okay, go away. Please go away. Oh my goodness, all these things are happening. Go away. Okay, I can get that thing to leave my computer. That dog is crashed out. This cat is on my lap. I don't know where the rest of the crew is, but this is what I do the majority of the day. Sit in my bed where I can sit and do this schoolwork. I finally got that to go away. I just wanted to read for y'all. I wanted y'all to be part of my day. I just and I need to try to stay awake. So let's go over this together, shall we? We're in psychology. We're in Freud. And we're reading all about the conscious and the unconscious mind. And I cannot tell you how many times I've read the word unconscious in the last, I don't know, hour. But I really don't ever want to read it again one more time in my life. I mean, they make it so technical and make the words also large that you have to focus so hard on pronouncing that you've read an entire paragraph and have no idea what you just read. I thought maybe if I read it to you out loud, then maybe I'll hear it. I don't know, because I just go insane reading this to myself. I could read this over and over and over again and have no idea what it just said. Okay, let's start a little higher up so this will make sense. Here. Now we're going to go into the ID, the ego, and the superego. In 1923, Freud significantly augmented his theorizing by presenting a second model of mind. He did not abandon his prior distinctions among conscious, preconscious, and unconscious regions of mind, yet he judged that these distinctions had proved to be inadequate. The inadequacy was the following for Freud. The inadequacy was the following. For Freud, there seemed to exist a psychological agency that had two important qualities. On the other hand, it was unitary in its functioning. It had a single type of thing in a coherent, consistent manner. Yet on the other hand, it varied in its degree of unconscious or of consciousness. Sometimes its functioning involved conscious process, but sometimes it functioned unconsciously. This clearly was a problem for the psychoanalytic theory. Freud needed to capture the unitary quality of the psychological agency and the distinction among levels of consciousness did not do it. It's like a large, tongue twister. Freud needed another conceptual tool. The one he forged proved to be among the most enduringly important features of psychoanalytic theory, the distinction among the ID, the ego, and the superego. Each is a distinct mental system that carries out a particular type of psychological function. The ID is the original source of all drive energy, the great reservoir of mental energies. The psychological functions toward the ID directs these energies are very simple. The ID seeks the release of excitation or tension. It carries out a mental function described previously, the reduction of tension in order to return to a quiet internal state. In carrying out this function, the ID operates according to the pleasure principle, which is particularly simple to divine. The ID pursues pleasure and avoids pain. The point is that the ID does not do anything else. It does not devise plans and strategies for obtaining pleasure or wait patiently for a particularly pleasing object to appear. It does not concern itself with social norms and rules. It is totally non-moral. The ID seeks immediate release of tension no matter what. The ID cannot tolerate frustration. It is free of inhibitions. It has qualities of a spoiled child. It wants what it wants when it wants it. The ID seeks satisfaction in either of two ways, through action or merely through imagining that it has gotten what it wants. To the ID, the fantasy of gratification is as good as the actual gratification. In terms of the regions of the mind outlined previously by Freud, the ID functions entirely outside of conscious awareness. It is unknown and conscious. In marked contrast to the ID is the superego. The functions of the superego involve the moral aspects of social behavior. The superego contains ideals for which we strive, as well as ethical standards that will cause us to feel guilt if we violate them. The superego then is an internal representation of the moral rules of the external social world. It functions to control behavior in accord with these rules. Why won't it flip back around? Okay, do y'all see what I'm dealing with here? I mean, just in that short reading, are you asleep yet? You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's ludicrous. By the time you get done reading it, you have no idea what you just read. Not for me, anyway. It's just I mean, I need to break it down to some street lingo. And this would be so much easier to read. This is going on in my day, y'all. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. See how nice it is out there? I bet there's people out there just enjoying that day. But no, not I. I am enjoying Freud right now. I'm trying to keep myself awake, y'all. I don't know that this helped me. I don't know. How does anybody handle this? All day, every day, trying to keep myself motivated. There is nobody here to crack me with a whip. Just trying to get through. Just trying to get through. Well, hope y'all enjoyed your little journey with me about Freud. I shall go back to it now. Thank you so much for joining me in my bore state. Possibly my ID state. We'll find out later. Bye.